Hey Christchurch, welcome to today's Daily Connect. I've really been enjoying going through the same Bible passages as everybody else and knowing that God's speaking to us from the same part of the Bible, and we could be hearing different things from him, which is really cool. So today we are on John 4, 1 to 26, so if you haven't already, please pause this video and read it, because I'm going to bring some thoughts, but God might want to speak to you about something else. So please make sure that you read it now. So we see here in this passage that due to her lifestyle, that this Samaritan woman was an outcast among her society. We see that because she comes to draw water at noon. And it says here in verse 6, it was in the middle of the day. But other women would go in the cool of the day because it was far too hot at noon and they wouldn't want to go then. So she goes then, which means that she is an outcast in her society. She doesn't want to see people. And Jesus spoke to her. Like, not only was this culturally unacceptable for Jesus as a Jew to speak to a Samaritan, but as a man, for him to speak to this woman that she doesn't know, that is also not acceptable in their culture. And later on, Jesus even asks for a drink from her bucket. That's not okay either. Like, Samaritans and Jews should not have been sharing buckets. But I love that Jesus goes against what the done thing is, and he's really rebellious with his love. You see, this woman has a one-to-one, face-to-face conversation with Jesus while doing something really ordinary. She's getting water. We can have a one-to-one, face-to-face conversation with Jesus in our ordinary. Like, I love doing church together with you, but at the moment we're unable to meet physically. But what I've actually quite enjoyed about that, although I've very much missed it, I've enjoyed the church as being seen as more of what church really is. That church is the people, church is not about the building. And because we don't have the building, we get to be church wherever we are as we can at any other time as well. But people are seeing it. And it's brilliant that we can help other people, that we can do our 5,000 conversations, and that we can be church anywhere. Because God meets us in our ordinary. We could be hoovering and we could be hearing from God. We can be worshipping as we wash up. We can pray as we look out of our window and see what's going on or not going on at the moment. That in our ordinary, God can meet with us. And at the moment, if you want to, you can do church in your pajamas. Like, we have our live stream on a Sunday morning. If you want to be in your pajamas, you can be in your pajamas. It's that kind of ordinary. God meets us there. And one thing I love about this passage is we see in verse 17 that Jesus knows this woman. He knows everything about her. And yet, he still wants to spend time with her. He reveals who he is while knowing who she is. Like, it's this hard truth with this abounding grace, and it's beautiful. And at this time that some of us are finding quite difficult, it's really comforting to know that God knows us, that he knows where our anxieties lie. He knows what our feelings are. He knows how we rest best. He knows the things we're struggling with, but he still wants to know. He knows the things we love doing. He knows the things that are really good for us. And he still wants us to come and talk to him. Like, when you tell someone a story and, when someone else tells you a story and you've heard that story loads and loads of times, most of the time people are like, I'll just pretend that I've not heard this before. And they sit there politely and kind of smile awkwardly. Whereas other people say, oh yeah, I know that. But God's not like that. Even though he knows everything about us, he still wants to know. Like, I still feel like when I come to him and tell him about the stuff that he already knows about, I still feel like he wants to know. And I love that. That he cares about us and he knows the things that we're worried about. And he wants to comfort us at this time. He doesn't force us to do that. We can give him some of the time that he's given us. We can give it him and spend time with him and let him comfort us at this time. As well as Jesus revealing who she is, he also reveals who he is. Like if you see in verse 26, he reveals that he's the Messiah that she's been waiting for. It says, I, the one you are speaking to, I am he. And he doesn't reveal this directly very often. So she was a Samaritan. She wasn't a Jew, but her ancestors were Jews who married Gentiles. So she understood the idea of this Messiah, but she didn't think that she was included. But yet the Messiah speaks to her directly. And in this time where all this stuff's going on, it's really important that we remember who God is. Remember who he is. You see, everything's changing so quickly. Everything's so different for a lot of people at the moment. But God remains the same. God is constant. And we need to remember who he is. We need to remember that he is the God who created the world. He's the God who calmed the seas. He's the God who heals people, who raised the dead, and who is still doing awesome things today. We need to remember who he is. And it's really comforting to know that he is so much bigger than all of this. But yet he still wants that personal relationship with us. I love that. So we need to remember that the creator of the world loves us, knows us, and cares about us. And as I was thinking about this passage this morning, as I read it through, it reminded me of a song that I really like. It's called Known by Torrin Wells. And the words of this song are really beautiful. And the chorus says, I'm fully known and loved by you. You don't let go no matter what I do. And so if you want perhaps a different way of reflecting today, you could listen to this song, and it really brings this story to a really personal level, I think. And so if you want to, you could do that. That is Known by Torrin Wells. And you can reflect on this in many other ways as well if you want to. So I'm going to pray for us as we end. God, I thank you for how much you love us. I thank you for how much you care about us. I thank you that you know us. No matter what we've done, you know us and you love us. I thank you that you know all our insecurities, you know all our worries, you know all our fears at this time. And I pray that you would help us all. You would help us to be there for others. You'd help us to be the church. And God, I thank you that you meet us in our ordinary. And I pray that we would want to meet you in our ordinary, that we would come to you for comfort. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you that you are in control of this. Amen. So tomorrow we'll hear the rest of this passage, which I absolutely love. The whole story is brilliant. So please tune in tomorrow, read that beforehand, and it'll be great. Thank you. Bye.